I only have two of these things left, by the way. Are you still doing this? All right. Should we ever make this one? I guess it is. Hey, there was that dead silence there, and who likes dead silence? Welcome. You're listening to another episode of Connect the Dots with Anne-Marie. We're all connected in one way or another, and this show is about people empowering people, preferably through the arts. And today, if you go on to www.rhinonair.com, you can see us live through the camera, and actually you can see Lori. I'm staying kind of out of it, not deliberately. I just saw myself walk across. Oh, there I am. And so obviously there's a latency as well. Once again, thank you all for listening in to Connect the Dots with Anne-Marie. And as usual, I'm very excited to be here. Today, my guest is a colleague and a friend, business acquaintance and a friend. And I say that over and over again because I just love this woman. Good morning, Lori.
Good morning, Anne-Marie.
And it is Lori Sapienza.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Because I always like pronouncing that last name, but I pronounce it to myself to make sure that I'm pronouncing it right. Lori, if you're not familiar with Lori, first and foremost, I had started a series called Where Are They Now? And this is something that I wanted to air once a month. And last week was my first one with Michael Brittenham, who had been a host on rhinonair.com at the very beginning, because now we're going into our 4th year. However, I had the opportunity to talk to Lori this week through Facebook, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I would so love to have Lori on the show as well and to get an update, finding out where she's at, what she's doing, because she comes from a total different field. She comes from the feel-good field, from the feel-healthy field.
Yes.
And that is something that right now is very close for me. I've been working very hard on trying to get my health back in shape. So that's why I'm so excited to have you here today. Lori is the owner of Peace of Yoga, and that is PEACE, meaning from the peace within, to have peace, to do it in a peaceful way, to bring all that peacefulness into your life through yoga, which is an exercise, correct? Or, you know what, that's going to be my first question for Lori, because I've been thinking about this. Yoga, is it an exercise? Is it a philosophy? Is it a way of living? Can you give us an explanation of what yoga is all about? And I know many people will say, oh, I know what yoga is. However, for me, I would like to know, and for the general public and those that may not know, what does yoga encompass?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here today. I love being here. Yoga has different meanings for everybody. For myself, yoga is more than just a physical practice. It is a mental practice. It is a loving practice. So a lot of people, when they hear yoga, the first impression is, well, I'm not flexible, so I can't do yoga. Yoga is for young girls or hippies. I've heard that before. And yoga really is just a whole mind-body thing. And that's what I want to bring to this community through Peace of Yoga. Because a lot of people automatically assume yoga with exercise and with physical. But the physical part of it, the actual practice that you do, the asanas, the postures, that's just a small part of what yoga is. Yoga is being nice to somebody. Yoga is being mindful of things that you do. It's way more than just that physical part. The physical part just goes with it.
So it's combining the mind, body, soul, encompasses the whole.
Yes.
So it's totally holistic. It
Yes.
encompasses the whole body. So it's part of the holistic process.
Exactly.
That's another thing. People think of holistic as something, no.
Yes.
No, and it has to do with whole body. Yes, I know that there's other things that have to do with holiness,
Right.
but this, when we speak of holistic, it really has to do with encompassing the whole body, the combination of the body. And the body, there is a brain that is different from the mind.
Yes.
Where those are things that people, as you go along, as you start getting more into it, and you start understanding a little better, when we talk about the heart, which is separate from the soul, and things of that nature. So that's why yoga for me is very intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
I am one of those people that says, I cannot do yoga because I'm too stiff.
Right.
I go to the doctor, and the doctor says you should be doing yoga.
Exactly.
And they've been telling me this for years. Now, 4 years ago, a little over 4 years ago, I started with whatever this is. I say it started out as a pinched nerve. I still believe that part of it is pinching a nerve. However, there's many other complications within my body, and I didn't listen when I was told a long time ago things that need to be done. I haven't been doing them.
Right.
So it's my own fault. I understand that. I take ownership and responsibility about it, and now I do want to heal, and I'm wanting to find ways on how to do this. That's why for me this is a huge dot, and that's why I've always been attracted to what you do. But it's not only what you do, it's how you do it.
Yes.
You have a studio here in St. Petersburg that started a few years ago.
We just had our 2-year anniversary, July 1st.
Yay!
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a cancer.
Yeah.
I say that because my grandmother was cancer and my aunt was cancer, and those are it seems to be one of my very compatible signs. So now that explains why I love piece of yoga. So for 2 years, you have been working at your business. It's your own business.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen that there's been some growth within your studio.
There has.
And just to get that not out of the way, but
Right.
for people to understand, can you tell us a little bit about your business and what you do?
Well, at Piece of Yoga, we try to emphasize on the genuine or authenticity of real yoga. And when I say real yoga, I mean, like what I just said to you before, that yoga is not just the physical part, it's everything. And I feel like that kind of gets lost in yoga studios, that people are so focused on fitness, and which is great, but that's just a part of it. And for myself, when I found yoga, the physical part was really just a small part of it. It was the mental part for me that helped me heal. Mentally, that I didn't know I needed healing until I got to that point.
Yeah, that's something I know.
And, I feel like I heal every single day with this practice. And again, not just the physical part of it, the mental part of it. Just taking the time to think about things before you do them. Not being so stressed out about the simple things in life. Not worrying so much about things that I can't control. There's just, my whole lifestyle has changed because of how I live my life through my yoga practice. And again, when I say practice, I mean the whole thing, not just the physical part. And so at Piece of Yoga, we are trying to bring that to the community. So we are a place of for people to come and feel safe and comfortable and relaxed. There's no judgment there. If you are not flexible, it doesn't matter. If you know nothing about yoga, it doesn't matter. So pretty much all of our classes, anybody can take. There are some that might be a little bit more advanced, and by advanced, I just mean that somebody that's more familiar with yoga, but it doesn't mean that they can't do every single one of the classes that we have. So we try to have that focus of yoga for everybody and for every body. Literally. So your body. So every body can come into our studio and feel comfortable, because we have so many different styles. And by styles, I mean, people, there's different names for yoga, which people are familiar with. A lot of people are familiar with hot yoga, which is Bikram. We do not do that there. It's a great practice, but that's not for everybody. So it doesn't go with my philosophy, which I want yoga for everybody. So I mean that when I tell people, I'm like, you can come in off the street not knowing anything about yoga and you can take any one of my classes.
I need to go. That's one of the reasons why I'm very excited you're here today. We have this new camera, and it's not a new camera, but I'm now doing live streaming. And I keep on running back and forth, so that may entertain you as well. Please continue to listen to Lori. However, I'm looking at myself in the camera. First of all, remember they say that the camera does bring on some pounds?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I have, my arms are super. Then you can tell the way I sit, my posture is horrible, and now I have these two blotches. I'm like, wait a minute. This works for everybody else except me. That's why I love radio, because I can talk and people don't have to look at me. So I prefer if you can just listen and don't watch. It is very important though, yes, and I have to say that I've been to your studio and it's very comfortable. It feels good from the moment you walk in. And I know that you are one of the people here in St. Petersburg that practice what they preach.
Yes.
I don't, if you get offended by my next comment, hey. But I must say that here in St. Petersburg, I have met the nicest, ruthless people ever. And when I say that, I mean, there are some people here that when they have their business ethics, they're not really nice. However, they are really nice.
Right.
So a place like yours, coming there to just release that additional stuff that one accumulates, because business is just one portion of your life, and it doesn't mean that because I cannot do business with somebody I don't like that person, but it still brings in all that stress, etc.
Right.
When I walked into your place, I didn't feel any of that. It's like you just let all that stuff stay behind you and you walk into the studio. So I really love that portion of it. Now you have some services that you've added on to your.
Yes, well, we have a lot of stuff going on. So we're trying to grow to, again, like I said, for the community. So we've added some different styles of classes. I have a lot of different teachers that teach these different styles. We're doing some different things with different people that I met through the community. We're going to be adding a trance dance class, which is, I say spiritual lightly. It's more of like a letting go type dance. So it's not choreographed.
First of all, you had me at dance.
Yeah.
Because
I do, because a lot of people love to dance. And this is, it's called Dances of Spirit. And it's a friend that I met, and she's like, I seem to be meeting people that are on the exact same page as me, that we just want to help people and make people feel good and in a healthy way. And so a friend of mine, Lily, she will be coming to my studio once a month with this Dances of Spirit. So I'm really looking forward to that, which is something, it's not yoga, the physical practice of yoga, but for me, it's yoga in a different way, because you're still expressing yourself and letting go. So again, the whole studio is based around all practices of yoga.
I listen to you, I look at you, and I'm hearing what you're doing. And New York City came to mind to me. Like when I was walking in Manhattan, there were some of these really cool places where you can just go and walk in, and they do have yoga classes, and they have other things, they encompass other things within that same space. But it felt so good. And it's one of those things that when I went there, I'm like, oh my gosh, I would love to be able to participate in something like this. And I can kick myself because I do have something like that right in my own backyard that I have not been able, or I haven't made the time. I'm not going to say I haven't been able, because it's also up to how we prioritize. And I do understand that. I mean, everybody has a lot to do. I do have a lot to do now, running a lot of this stuff all on my own. However, I can make the time if I really, really, it's something that you really need to just make yourself available, allocate the time, because I think the sooner I do that, the better I will continue to feel and the more energy I will have to do other things.
Yes.
Getting out of that rut, getting out of your habits, of your daily habits. You have that weighing on your mind every day thinking, oh, I have to do exercise. Oh, I have to do this. I have to do that. But taking that step to make that happen sometimes becomes very difficult.
Yes.
And again, I just want to get all this, again, I don't want to say out of the way, but I want people to understand. How are the rates? Are they extremely expensive, or are there packages? How can people benefit? Are there different levels, of services that one can do to justify? How does that portion work?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because another reason why I have things set up the way I do is, again, I want people to come in. So everything is extremely reasonable. I offer right now, I shouldn't say right now because this is going to be going forward, for anybody that's new, that lives locally, within the area, and they've never been to the studio before, they get 1 free week of unlimited classes.
Wow! I've never been there.
You can come 1 free week. So that's something that I worked on with a friend of mine that's going to be helping me with some marketing. And, I've offered in the past, like first class $5, first class free, or buy 1 class, second class free. And then we thought about it, because we have so many different things going on. What if they come in that one day and that didn't click with them? I don't want that. So I want them to come for 1 full week, come every single day, try all of our teachers, all of the different classes, see what you like.
That is huge, because I have other doctors and people that I work with here locally, and they refuse to give any time away.
Well, no, people don't like doing that.
And sometimes, though, it does. I understand why they don't want to give the time away, because that's their business.
I can't afford it.
I understand.
But I want people to come in, and I'm doing this not just for myself. I'm doing this as a community, because I just feel like once people realize how good this is and how good it makes them feel, and they'll spread that, and just one person at a time, just making happy, just makes it everybody better.
I think I'm not that, but because I've had the opportunity to see you, follow. I met you at the very beginning of your business. We met through the Chamber of Commerce, actually, St. Petersburg Chamber of Commerce. I think it's just a matter of time, because you have been doing everything, taking all the right steps. You got into yoga, however, this was not your main profession throughout your lifetime. So you do have a background in finances?
Accounting.
And accounting. And so combining that where you're at right now and your passion, you are definitely on the right path. And it's just a matter of, hopefully, if finances continue to allow it, to give you that enough time. I know that your business will continue to be a striving business, because you're doing it for the right reasons.
Yes.
I see you. I'm watching you. I'm closer. Those of you that you can watch this later on YouTube. You will see it on our website. You'll listen to our podcast, but you will be able to experience for yourself how genuine Lori is, and passion can overcome as long as you stay determined as well. Because we have a city full of passionate people.
Yes, we do.
And however, being passionate and then taking the steps and making things happen are 2 separate things. And having so many artists, I say it from our art community. This past week, again, I learned so much through Facebook, and I think St. Pete has a large community that we all learn things from each other. We follow each other through Facebook.
Yeah.
So Facebook for this community here seems to be very effective.
Very.
And yesterday, somebody went on Facebook, or the day before yesterday, and it was a rant. I don't like to use that word, but it was a rant. And at one point, it was a little vulgar. And I did go on and comment. I thought about it, and I like the artist very much. And he's a very good artist who did this. And he's just very frustrated. But again, it's one of those things. It's not what you say, how you say it. And it's the delivery, and it can take you a step backwards. I mention that because he's very passionate. However, and there's a lot of passionate artists here that are not making the money at this time, because it's just like really hard to combine it all. You mentioned that as you continue to move forward, you're meeting people that you guys are on the same page, on the same frequency, on the same wave. So that tells me that you are doing the right things, that you're staying true to yourself, because you attract you attract
Yes.
what you want and where you're at and
Right.
what you're doing. And a lot of times people don't understand that to that level,
Mhm.
and we keep on dwelling on everything that we don't want, and it doesn't happen.
Right.
You also provide a service that is for babysitting. We have a night here that is gallery walk night. I say babysitting, and I'm going to rephrase that. But I would like to go to a break, and
Okay.
when we come back, we will continue to talk to Lori, who is the owner of a piece of yoga here in St. Petersburg, Florida, and a very good friend. And I'm going to run over there to put on some music. So as I'm doing that, can you please mention where your studio is located?
Yes. Piece of Yoga is located at 21 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Street South, which is 9th Street South, between Central and First Avenue South, right next to Anytime Fitness. We have parking in the front, a few spaces, but there's also a parking lot in the back. I know parking can be an issue. I attended a meeting for that last night.
Okay, I'm gonna let that run for a minute because I have to go back over here. I changed my screensaver. And we are live on YouTube still. And hi everybody, those that can hear me. And this screensaver is driving me crazy. It's a tiny.
My favorite book, The Kids of the Tree.
And we're back. And oh my gosh, that camera thing is really driving me crazy. Now I can't see myself. Hold on, I'll be right back. So here I am, doing the whole video thing. Okay, now I can see it. And empty chair. Now, chair again. There I am.
There you are.
Less latency. Here. So thank you so much for being patient with me. Thank you to
Absolutely.
our listeners for listening. And you are listening to Connected Dr. Anne Marie, and we all are connected in one way or another. and this show is about people empowering people on WSPF-DB, RhinoNair.com, your favorite friendly internet radio station. And I am with Lori Sapienza, who is the owner of Piece of Yoga. And Piece of Yoga has just celebrated its 2nd year anniversary,
Yes.
which that is really cool in the sense that we do know, and I'm sure that even in your 2 years, you've seen a lot of businesses come and go.
Absolutely.
You are part of what we call the Edge Business District
Yes.
here in St. Petersburg, which the Edge District is really growing. And
Yeah.
it's starting to look so cool
It
and
is.
so nice, that whole area. It's an area where you can just park, walk, shop, eat, do some yoga,
Yes.
do some exercise. It's a very health-related area as well, meaning on physical, mind, body, and health.
Mhm.
Now, as part of the Edge Business District, and I saw that yesterday you were on TV,
Yeah.
on the news, which I thought that was so funny.
It was
I
very
go on
funny.
Facebook, and the first thing I see is there's Lori with a microphone, and they're, talking to her, and she was on TV. And it said it had to do with parking.
Yes.
And those of us that live here in St. Pete understand the parking issues.
Mhm.
So can you give us here on Connected Dots an update on what that was about yesterday?
Yes, there's actually another meeting tonight at the museum downtown, Fine Arts.
Of its history or fine arts?
Fine Arts.
Okay, cool.
So the meeting was basically just a brainstorming, just to get an idea of what the issues are, where the issues are at, any ideas as we as residents, business owners, and customers of these local businesses, what our thoughts were on it. So it was literally just a brainstorming thing. They had a big map of an area that they're focusing on, which is downtown.
This was put together by the city?
Yes, they hired, I guess, some organization to come in. I can't remember the name of everything. I was just so focused on the map because I thought it was so cool. It had like this whole fancy map, and it was like labeled out with the Edge District and Central Ave to Beach Drive.
Oh.
And because that's where all the parking issues are. And then we just brought up all of our issues, and then we had like a little summary at the end from each table that had their map. And then somebody collected all that information. They were going to write it all up, and I guess that used this information to
How
help
did you
them.
find out about this?
This was through the Edge District.
Ah, you see,
Yeah.
that is so cool, being
Yeah.
part of.
Yeah,
That really keeps you informed.
and it was also on the news too.
I was just going to
That's
say,
what-
I probably got a press release on it, and I have to confess, this month of July, I have been a little more laid back, taking the time just to be and do. I have taken a lot of time off for the 4th of July. I was going to take the weekend, but hey, I'm my own business. At first, I think, oh, I'm unemployed. Then I go, well, I'm not unemployed. I'm self-employed.
Right.
Then I go on to think, I'm self-employed. I can do what I want. So I'm taking off this time. Oh my gosh, has it bit me big time.
Yeah.
Because you don't realize how much you really do accomplish every day. And
Oh, yeah.
just that one day, add on 2 weeks that you don't do what you're supposed to be doing, it really threw me back. A mental note, check all the emails that I've got to make sure I know what's going on, because parking, for example, is a huge issue
It
for
is.
everybody.
It is.
And having a business, I had my studio before right on Central.
Right.
2 studios there, different years. Now I'm a little further south. Here, fortunately enough, I still don't have parking issues, but now I'm more in a residential
Right.
area. And so throughout the day, it makes it a little easier for the people that are coming to this area.
Mhm.
Not to mention, though, there are a lot of parking issues. And one of the biggest challenges is the 2-hour thing as well. So
Yeah,
somebody
brought
is
that up.
parking for free for 2 hours. Time flies, especially when you're having fun. And here in St. Pete, everything is fun.
Yeah.
So if you're coming downtown, you're attending Piece of Yoga, or you're going to any other one of our businesses here, even if you're going to a chamber meeting, whatever you're going to do, you're going to be distracted and you're going to get very involved into it.
Absolutely.
So those 2 hours fly by. And I cannot tell you, my son has been here a few times and he goes, oh my gosh, my 2 hours are up. There I go again. I'm going to get another ticket. So it's already cost him. Every time he comes, he winds up getting a ticket.
Wow.
And we do have an issue where when people park for 2 hours free, we have a program in place in the city that if you park and you get a ticket, you ate or you were at one of the local businesses, once in a lifetime they will give you a pass.
And I did that once.
However, it only happens though if you're at a metered parking space.
Yes.
And not at one of the 2 free hour parking spaces.
Exactly.
So it starts getting very complicated.
So confusing.
Very confusing. Then even if you're a resident and you bought one of the passes to be able to park your car in the street, but it's only in certain zones designated to the area that you pertain to, blah, blah. So that is very frustrating and confusing in time as well. Parking here is an issue. I'm hoping, did you hear any good ideas that they came up with yesterday? Any good suggestions?
Well, there's 5 different groups of us, and each group had its own suggestions. A lot of them were similar. Bringing back the streetcar. I guess there was a streetcar at one time.
Oh, how cool would that be?
So bringing that back, because I know we do have the trolley, but that only runs in certain areas at certain times, and it ends early. So
I still haven't gotten the whole trolley thing down. I'm not going to lie. I even have a bus stop back here close to where I live. I do not know where those buses go and come from. I actually my husband had dropped me off at St. Pete Chiropractic, which is at the corner of 4th Street and 22nd Avenue North. And so I decided I finished earlier, so I'm going to start walking. I think I can walk home. I think I can walk home. I think I can walk home. Now I was at 5th Avenue North, so I walked from 22nd Avenue to 5th Avenue North. It's really hot and muggy, and that's the issue. And not to mention that I'm limping a lot. So I get to that corner and I decide, you know what? I see on the next corner a bus stop. And I figured, well, I'm going to 4th Avenue South, so I still have 5 more blocks this way. Then I have 4 more, 9 blocks. You know what? It's worth taking a bus. I wait for the bus. I get on the bus right there on 4th Avenue North, 5th Avenue North, right after. And it stops at the park, which is like 3 blocks away that I could have walked there. I mean, I could see the park, and that's where it stops. And then before it goes to the south side. And then it goes around this whole huge circle. So at the end of it, I could have probably just taken a break, kept on walking, and gotten home. That whole lengthy explanation is to help people understand, we do need to know the times of the buses, where they go, how they go, because that was really the dumbest thing I could have ever done. I was so frustrated with myself. So now I'm sitting at the Williams Park there waiting for the bus to come out, where it was ridiculous. So we do have an issue with parking.
Yes.
I'm glad to see, though, that our community is involved, our community business owners, and a shout out and congratulations to the Edge Business District that are working very proactively to make that whole area better.
Yes.
We do have various different business districts, and as Laurie mentioned, this particular map that they were showing goes all the way from Beach Drive all the way up, so that's a good thing. So this is as a whole of the downtown area.
Yes.
I mean, when you compare us to New York City, this is a joke as far as space and size. It's very tiny. So our midtown is like literally 2 blocks.
2 blocks, yeah.
And our downtown is 2 or 3 blocks. Which is the good news as well, because it keeps us all a little more condensed. Okay, my screensaver that I just changed went out again, so I hope that everything is still working and people can still see us. And I will keep on running back and forth. This is going to be the video of, let's see how many times Anne-Marie has to run back and forth to fix that screen. This is what technology is all about. You have had Piece of Yoga for 2 years.
Yes.
You continue to meet and attract really cool people. You're proactive in the Edge District. As you continue to move forward, what are your plans? What are you working on? What are you doing? I see that you're growing, that you have all these additional classes that you're adding.
Mhm.
Let me ask it in this perspective. Are you giving still classes, or are you on now more managing the whole side of it and having others assist and do classes and providing employment?
Right. Well, I'm still teaching a couple classes, but I have most of the schedule covered with amazing people. I have so many great people around me. I feel so privileged to have them because they just are so awesome, and I just have no worries. Like, I know that they're going to teach, and they have the same philosophy as me, and they're just so kind and patient with this whole growing process, because it is a process. And because I am staying true to myself and true to piece of yoga,
Woo!
I'm not giving in to anything. So, and I know it's going to take some time before I really start to grow, but I believe the more that the community realizes that I'm here for them, not here for myself, but for them, to provide them with this comfortable space, that it will just grow from there. And I more so wanted to grow for everybody else, but not myself, you know.
That is such a delicate subject for me. I moved here with that same intention, and I still have that same intention. And I'm not going to let anybody hold me down. Oh, I got to keep on moving. However, it's not that. Sometimes it gets to a point where you start second guessing and you really start wondering, oh my gosh, am I doing the right things? You know, is this going to get any better? I could be having a job and making much more money than I'm making right now. Oh, wait a minute. I'm making no money right now.
Right. Yeah.
So no matter what I do, I could probably be making more. That's the first thought. Right. Then the reality sets in. A day like today happens, that I have the honor and opportunity to share and speak with somebody like yourself. Yesterday, we had a new show that started, Dayquest Life, with Michael Whalen, who he's an amazing being, and he is a mental health coach, certified mental health coach. And his show is all about mindfulness.
Okay.
In a very logical, scientific way, / also encompassing mind, body, soul, starting with the breath. And that's what his show is all about. And I'm hoping that you and Michael Welling, if you haven't met him, you get to meet him. I'm going to make sure that happens, because you, I think, would be excellent for his show. And one of the things, the premise of his show is, you know, what are you here to do? What are you about? He has a way of asking a question that's not, I just screwed the whole thing out. However, very, soulful. Those are the things that keep me going. Those are the things that keep on reminding me, okay, nobody said it was going to be easy. You see, we start doing this because we're doing it for the love. We're doing it for the passion, for our own growth. However, the more we grow, it's based on others growing.
Right.
And it's that whole sharing and unity thing. And it's just really difficult, though, sometimes to keep that. I just right now, as I'm saying it again, I'm human.
Right.
And all these other elements get in the way. I'm so grateful. That's what Connected Dots is all about. To hear you say, I am here. I'm not going to let others, tell me. I'm going to stay true to myself, true to my vision, and that is key. Yes. Being in such an artsy community as well, that's another issue that as artists they have, that everybody wants to give their opinion.
Right.
I'm writing this, I'll call it for now a blog, and it's Talking to an Artist 101. And the first item I talk about is, do not tell an artist what to do unless you're commissioning them.
Right. Exactly.
And because I've talked to artists and they tell me, oh, I cannot tell you. The other day, Salvador was saying, I was asking Salvador St. Germain, an amazing sculptor, and he goes, yeah, people come up to me and say, oh, why don't you make 100 of these little things? And then I'm thinking in my head, okay, all the materials I need to make those 100 little things that I hate having to do, and I'll sell them just for X amount of dollars. And by the time it's all said and done, I really didn't make any money either.
Right.
People want to help, and that's their idea of wanting to help, giving you ideas of things that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
That's really not helping. How people can help is by the art. People can help is go take the classes and learn and get your peacefulness as well and your mindfulness, and that's
Right.
going to help you excel in other things
Right.
as well. So I absolutely thank you for reminding me of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing. Within your classes,
Yes.
any particular area that you would like to, that may be one of the newest things, or you just did mention this new dance class that you have coming
Right.
up?
Yeah, we have that for the first time. That's coming up in
Actually, when does it
August.
start? It starts in August.
It's gonna start the 4th Sunday in August, and then we're gonna do it after that, the 4th Sunday of every month.
Now, what about the kidding around yoga?
Kidding around yoga.
I was so impressed with this the first time you spoke to me about it, kidding around yoga. Oh, I hope you can see it.
So I'm a kidding around yoga teacher, and for myself right now, I just do private classes with different organizations in the area. Most of that I do is, I don't get paid for it, so it's all what we call karma yoga. So I just basically do free yoga for specific children in the area.
Wow.
So, but we do offer classes at the studio right now for the summer. We don't have anything on the schedule, but it comes back, once school starts. We have a teacher, Dana. She teaches there once a week. We're trying to grow our parents' night out. We do have it on the schedule. We haven't really pushed it that much because we've been focusing on so many different things. I did some remodeling at the studio. We've been hiring teachers. So, but the parents' night out is what you had started to mention before, the second Saturday of every month. That we have the second Saturday art walk in St. Pete through the Arts District. And we kind of designed this parents' night out to coordinate with that. So that second Saturday art walk, I want to say from 5 to 10. I think it's 5 to 10 every second Saturday.
Wow.
So what we're offering at Piece of Yoga is on those Saturday nights from 5:30 to 8:30, we'll do like a little mini camp, you can call it. And in that 3-hour time frame, we would be doing different things with the children. Of course, it would be focused towards art since it's an art thing. So maybe they can talk to their parents about things and parents can talk to them and some kind of connection there. But so it's not just yoga. So it's, we'll be doing the kids yoga and, teach them mindfulness, teach them meditation, do an art craft project, have a little snack. So make it really fun for them. So then the parents can kind of drop off their kids, spend 3 hours either going to see the local galleries, eating at a local restaurant, doing whatever they want for 3 hours, and then just coming back, getting their kids, and then hopefully going home and putting them to bed.
As you were speaking, I remember I used to live in South Florida when I was raising my boys, and we had a discovery zone
Yes.
right by the house. And my younger son would say, "Mom, I'm going to the club, I'm going to DZ." And at night, what they would do is, for a certain amount of time, they would have a disco ball and some lights.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever the kids did, it made them feel like they were going to a club and doing the whole dancing thing. So I'm thinking, wow, that is so cool for kids, and for the parents.
Yes.
If you don't know what Art Walk Night is, I'm going to tell you. Art Walk is every second Saturday. All the galleries around town, for the most part, open up. Mm-hmm. And when I say all the galleries, what happens is we have areas where there's studios, home studios for the artists. So they live there and they work there. And normally they only open for special events, special occasions, or by appointment only. Yeah, Art Walk Night is the night that everybody opens up, even, their homes, their home galleries, the galleries downtown that have actual, separate business locations. And people get to come to the city and go and find art, and hopefully you'll buy some art. But it's not only art on canvas, there's glass art and jewelry and sculptures, and then I don't know what the performing arts, if they do anything in particular that night. I need to look into that.
Yeah,
but there's always plays going on, and our restaurants, and we have so many now very cool breweries as well. Of course, no drinking and driving.
No.
But we have a real good Uber services that go around the city as well. I started using Uber myself.
Yeah.
And now I'm Uberized. I mean, I love it. And the people that I've met that come and pick me up in the different Uber cars, the cars are awesome.
Right.
So, because they have requirements that you have to have a certain, year
Okay.
of a car. So that puts us out. My husband and I could never be Uber drivers because our car does not qualify. That's the exciting part of doing Uber because it's very affordable, really nice cars. And the people that are driving the Ubers are really cool people. I've met like the coolest Uber
That's
drivers.
awesome.
And I've seen other people put on Facebook, this is my Uber driver. And it's like super cool people. So it's a night that people can come out, if in fact you do go to our breweries or wherever, there's Uber service, of course there's taxis, but this is another thing that I don't think you can find this anyplace else.
Right.
Where you can actually go and drive. I mean, not to say, I think in Tampa they have Mosey and I don't know how that works. But this is working after hours on a Saturday from 5 to 8:30 p.m. that you can go and drop off your kids and go and enjoy the evening
Right.
with your significant other or by yourself. If you're a single parent, drop off your child, let your child have some fun, meet some cool people, and you go meet some cool people and mingle. And I will say this, I'm sure that even if you don't know people, you drop your kids off and at Piece of Yoga, you'll get some information of where to go, places to see, and trust me, you will have a nice time. So I think this is a phenomenal service.
Right.
Something that's very well needed. I think if it hasn't picked up yet, it's because people don't know.
They don't know, yes, and that's my fault because I'm not very good at marketing. And
I don't think it's your fault. I think it has to do with your timing in the sense that once you're completely, when the time is right, because you've been working on some other things.
Yes.
So it's not that you don't know, because I must say the day I met this woman at the Chamber of Commerce, I was so in awe of you because I was looking at you. That day I met you and I met Santa. What better that it was so crazy. So we have the Chamber of Commerce here does every once a month. They do this for new members.
Mm-hmm.
You get to meet the new members and everybody stands up and gives their explanation. And I'm looking down, I like to be like one of the last people and I'm looking to see who's saying what. And there you stood up and you just looked so cool. Even before you opened your mouth, you looked cool. That's marketing in itself.
Yeah.
Right now, the way you're dressed, you have your little waist.
shirt.
I mean, you always, so this is marketing. So you definitely do know how to market. It's just allocating the time to where better fit, where your time is better suited at that moment. As they went through the introductions, the other person that everybody was staring at was this guy that looked just like Santa. He looked just like Santa. And everybody was just like biting their tongue. And I know that he knew it because he stands up and he looks at everybody and before even saying his name, he looks around and he goes, yep, I'm Santa. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much because we kind of knew this. But, so that was a very great day. I met you, I met Santa on the same day, so that's a very good sign for me. You do very good at what you do. You are very soulful. You're very mindful. You project that. And I don't think there's any better marketing than that. And when somebody meets you, immediately they're going to want to go to your studio. They're going to want to find out more because of just you.
Right.
Just you. I'm looking at the clock. I'm looking at so many things that are going around in the room today, and I'm thank you for being patient with me, and I hope our listeners can be as patient as well, or being as patient as well. This today has been more of an informative type of show, talking about Piece of Yoga, what Piece of Yoga does, the reason why I'm providing all this information and connecting these dots, because I truthfully believe in what you're doing. I truthfully believe that's something that's very well needed. I know that's something that I need to start doing as well. And I refuse to go to places where I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I refuse to walk into a business that I just not doing it. And if I can do anything, if I've sacrificed myself so much, I am now determined to stay true to myself as well. I don't want to talk about unhappy things. However, I do feel that as a friend, and I need to address it. I do know now it's been a while. I think it's almost a year now that you had a loss in your family.
Mhm.
How is your mom doing? How is your family doing?
Mom is doing well. We lost my father February 16th, 2014. And, I adored him. And my mom is doing well. She goes through her ups and downs, going through the grieving process. They were married for 55 years, 56 years, sorry. And, but my mom does live with me. And my daughter lives with me now too.
Oh,
So it's me. We call ourselves the Golden Girls.
Absolutely, but what a great spin! All three different
so
generations.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. And we're three women, so we do fight, but we get along. And when we fight, it doesn't last more than a day. So, but yeah, it's been a rough year for her. Losing a loved one is rough for anybody, but my father was just an amazing person, and it's still sad. I have my good days and bad days too.
The good news is you get to remember all the goodness.
Absolutely.
Your dad, and I relate to you because my dad has dementia, and it's just such a horrible ailment in the sense to see your parent, that person that raised you, that person that you knew that was so strong, etc., seeing them that there's just a shell of what they were, that they're in there somewhere. They are who they are. However, the body is not functioning the same.
Right.
And now I'm going to bring this back around to what you do and how important that is, because the body is a mechanical part. Then we have our soul, the energy and the soul and the mindfulness and everything else that encompasses to have a healthy body. And that's what Piece of Yoga is all about. And I commend you for practicing what you preach. I commend you because I do know that you went through that and still, no matter what, it's something that's going to always, strike a nerve.
Absolutely.
And because it hurts, because we love these people. It's end of story.
Right.
And we are happy that they have transformed. Yes. We're happy that they get now another opportunity to go into another body and all that kind of stuff. And however that process is, because we don't know any of that for sure. You're doing the right things, keeping yourself healthy, practicing what you preach, living it day by day.
Right.
And I love when you say, I'm doing this for free, I'm doing that for free, I'm doing this. I say that a lot, but what you're really saying is nobody can tell me because I'm living it.
Right.
Nobody can, you can critique all you want, but nobody's paying me to do this. Nobody's paying me to say what I'm saying.
Right.
I am doing it for the right reasons. And as you continue to do that, your passions will continue, the money will follow. There is that book that says, do what you love and the money will follow. That's the only part of the book I read, which was the title. I'm not going to lie. I'm sure it's a very good book. However, that was so powerful alone that it's very true. You're doing the right things, you're bringing the right elements together, and as long as you are able, because there's also that other portion of it, the same way we say the bodies are the mechanic,
right?
You have a business where it has its own mechanisms that go with it, and you have to have money to pay your rent, and you have to have money to pay the employees and everything else that goes along, and to be part even of your business district association.
Right.
There are fees to be paid.
Yeah.
None of this comes for free.
Nothing.
We do it for free, but it doesn't come for free. The question is, where is that fine line on when to say enough is enough? And now we really do need to monetize. I don't want anybody to underestimate what Piece of Yoga does.
Right.
Piece of Yoga is a great organization. It's become an organization. It goes beyond yoga. I shouldn't say it goes beyond yoga, because you said it very well at the beginning of the show. Yoga encompasses more than just the exercise and the practice of the physical portion of it.
Right.
You are encompassing all of that through Piece of Yoga. You are bringing that to this, and you're sharing this with this amazing community here in St. Petersburg, Florida. But you know what? You don't need a passport to come over the bridge, to come over from Tampa, to come over from Sarasota. Even if you're just coming for that once a month event for the arts walk night
Right.
and you decided to drop off your children,
Mhm.
I really want to encourage people to come on over and do that. Believe it or not, it's already 10:59. A whole
my
hour has
gosh.
gone by.
Can I
believe.
mention one more thing?
I know, that's what I was gonna say. I want, before we go, since I don't feel like I got into the meats and potatoes of anything.
No.
Is there something that you would like to
Yes.
share with us that I haven't covered?
Well, there's one thing.
We have plenty of time though. I don't, meaning, it's 11 o'clock, but we can have a few more minutes.
So a friend of mine, Jen, she started, which I met through Kidding Around Yoga. She has an organization called Seva Yoga Outreach. So I just started this week on Mondays going to the juvenile detention center, teaching yoga to teenagers.
Wow.
Yeah. So they have already started with the girls. I just started with them on Monday, so I'm going to be doing that every Monday, and then they're gonna. Their next program is with the boys. And also through Seva Yoga Outreach, we're trying to get into the prison systems.
You know, I am a mess. This made me very emotional to hear you say that, and what a blessing. I commend you for that. Congratulations. May you continue to grow that program.
Yeah.
It's so well needed. And I believe in, let's just go to the root.
Yeah.
So our kids our kids need our help.
Yeah.
This new generation that moves so fast, and that's what I am passionate about the most. So I start with the ocean because of the elements of nature, that if we cannot breathe, if we don't have oxygen, we won't breathe.
Right.
And our ecosystem is in trouble. And before I leave, anything that I can contribute to the world so my grandbabies and their families to come can live better, I want to do that.
Right.
And a place to start is, and I always say our youths from that silly movie, and I found myself saying that even when I didn't do it on purpose. I said the youths, we need to work more. The youths are on fire.
My cousin Vinny.
And from my cousin Minnie. Working at that level just goes so into the root of issues.
Right.
If we can start rebuilding our youth to be healthier, to be able to make informed decisions, not only because you Google something and you read it, because that's another thing, we take that by factual, but you actually have all the elements there and the peace of mind in order to be able to make decision. That is huge. You're so when are you doing this? Can you say the name of your first organization?
It's Seva Yoga
Seva.
Outreach. It's my friend Jen.
Is that SEVA?
SEVA Yoga Outreach. Yeah. So she has started this organization. I have another friend that I also met through Kidding Around Yoga. He has an organization in St. Pete called Hands for Hope, and it's also to help underprivileged children in this area. So I do some yoga with him, and he does some other stuff too. So I'm trying to, like you said, because it's with the children, it starts there, which is why I love the Kidding Around Yoga, because the program is so phenomenal. And that program, we can take it to these other places and use it for the juvenile detention center, for Hands for Hope and those kids. I teach yoga to foster children. We've done it through the homeless kids. There's a group here that we deal with. So, it's the kids. I mean, they need it.
Oh man, you are the power. I am so grateful to know you. I'm so grateful that you came on the show today. Lori Sapienza, who is a great contribution to the city. I know you've heard this many times, and that people say, oh, we just love all that you do. Okay, now next step. Now participate. And I can only say that because that happens to me all the time.
Right.
Oh, we love, we're so grateful to have you in the city. It's so great that we have somebody like you doing what you do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That means a whole bunch. But we will not be able to continue to do what we do if we don't have the support of people who are not coming to participate. And again, this is not about any one person. Piece of yoga is not about just any one person.
Right.
It's about a community. It's about a lifestyle. It's about being able to be and to have fun while you're doing it.
Absolutely.
And stay healthy.
Yes.
Lori, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
And whenever else you have anything else going on, I must say, we will have something else going on. Because, okay, so Piece of Yoga just had its 2nd year anniversary. However, we still have not had a ribbon cutting.
No.
So we will be working on this. I don't know exactly how we're going to encompass the whole thing. This is going to be when I say a private ribbon cutting, it's going to be done by Piece of Yoga with the Piece of Yoga community and all of those else involved.
Mhm.
I want to specify that because I'm also an ambassador at the chamber, and the chamber does ribbon cuttings. And yes, of course, we want a ribbon cutting through the chamber. However, this one is going to be a party. We're going to cut that ribbon,
yes.
and we're going to party. So please stay tuned for the ribbon cutting of Piece of Yoga. So you can have a piece of our mind on how to stay peaceful. Thank you so much, Laurie, for being with me here today. You've been listening to Connected Dots with Anne-Marie. We're all connected in one way or another, and this show is about people, empowering people, preferably through the arts, on WSPF-DB, rhinoonair.com, and also airs on Fab Radio International. We are now exchanging arts, music, and culture across the pond. Have a great rest of your day. And today at 6:30 p.m., the next live show is Going Solo with Cece Shass. And tomorrow, Thursday at 12 at noon, it's Dr. Christopher Jackson with A Path to Wellness. And on Friday, our only other live show is Two Outcasts and a Mic with Salvador St. Germain and Jeremiah. Oops, they have secret names. It's Sparky and Mud. But we're always giving it away. Thank you so much and enjoy your day.